Where are the mammoths? Before the end of the decade, so I've been told. Charles, why don't you run a Mastodon instances as an X alternative? I am going to start slowly moving from X into a different medium with a different form of curation. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. And I'm going to figure it out. And it's going to become a priority. My first thing I'm doing is I'm just taking a reset, going to this 40 years of Zen and having some fun there. But absolutely, when I come back with clear eyes and a little bit less stress, I'm definitely going to pivot and try a different social media approach, because this one's not working for me and I'm just getting frustrated with it. What's behind the hate for Cardano? It does not make sense. They hate me. The Unity Party would like to execute Liz Cheney. See, this is an example of how propaganda spreads. I listened to the 1.5-minute clip where Trump said that. I listened to it. And what he was talking about is Liz Cheney wants to send people to war. She should go out there and actually experience war firsthand and understand how horrible it is before she goes and commits us to war after war after war and killing all these young kids, and she's bloodthirsty. That is basically what Trump said. The liberal media took that and said, Trump said, kill Liz Cheney. These are not the same statement. One is saying before some politician in their 50s and 60s and 70s who's never fought in a war, never been in a war zone, and never had to sacrifice for the nation, commits our young children to go and die in wars that we shouldn't fight, maybe they should have a taste and experience of it to understand what they're committing our young people to do. Is a different statement from kill Liz Cheney. These are different statements. I listened to it. It's there. But the problem is we now live in two parallel realities where you see the same thing I see. We can write all the words out in sentences. We can do a, deductive logic on it. We can break them down sentence by sentence. And yet there's radically different interpretations because there's this aura of distortion and derangement and hate that's so strong, it's impossible to interpret a statement from somebody in good faith. It's a derangement. And you can't understand what the person's saying. You choose an interpretation that's as bad as humanly possible. The vast majority of Americans would agree that over the last 20 years in particular, America has been too hawkish. We've invaded too many countries. We've killed so many people with drones. We've built this giant intelligence apparatus that Snowden revealed, amongst others. We've done a lot of really horrible things. And our veterans are coming home with PTSD. We have the highest suicide rate of any army in the entire world, 22 soldiers a day. We're losing battalions to suicide. When you scale these things up, we lost Afghanistan. We literally handed it back to the people that we invaded, the Taliban. They're in charge again. And yet there's all these hawkish politicians saying, let's go for another round. Let's go for another round. And they're paying for it with your children's blood. Maybe that's a bad deal. And maybe the people who do that should not be rewarded with power. Maybe, just maybe. But you're so deranged. Your mind is so warped by the propaganda. It's impossible for you to get there because you just hate the man so much that even when he makes a good point, it can't be a good point. It has to be calling for the execution of somebody. That's where we're at in 2024.